Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the KX500 three-wheeler. So where are we at here? I just bumped that. Check out that pipe though, that's pretty cool. We're gonna weld the back sides of those. I'm pulling this off and the airbox that I have temporarily fitted, which we have mounts, all that. I moved this back. All right, so we're gonna finish up the welds, then we're gonna build the airbox, okay? I got rivets, I got epoxy, I got aluminum. We're gonna make it so that the heat goes away from it. We're gonna make it so the swing arm doesn't hit it. We're gonna do quite a bit of things. And then on top of all that, we're gonna put the rear end together with its final components. We're gonna put the thumb throttle on. So let's get after it. All right, these are finished up, ready for some coating. That was a labor of love to revive that pipe. It was really rusty. I'm not a big fan of raw pipes. I love how they look when they're cleaned up and got some WD on them though. All right, after that, we're gonna clean the carburetor, do that airbox stuff we talked about, and then put the thumb throttle on. All right, so this ATC 250R thumb throttle has plenty of throw on the cable. The end's gonna fit in there nicely, and the cable length is gonna reach up there. Hopefully we have enough adjustment between the throttle assembly and the cap to get the slack adjusted correctly without any extra pieces. So for anybody wondering, that's a 84 ATC 250R throttle cable. I use those on a lot of things. They're pretty handy. The reeds all look good in there. It's clean. We're gonna put the clamp on the right side because the screw was facing the kickstart, which was kind of hard to put it on. So the right side being the left side of the bike, so you can access it. So we're gonna fix that, wipe this up. We're gonna clean the carburetor, and then we're gonna put the thumb throttle on. Okay, so the front brake master cylinder did not fit with the thumb throttle. Starting to build pressure. I have this really nice OEM 06 YFZ 450 brake master, so we put that on there. Oh yeah, building pressure now. We're gonna bleed this guy. So now it's got a Nissan, so that's good. The only thing we're gonna run aftermarket on the brakes is the rear caliper. I do have two OEM ones, but I got a brand new nice one, so we'll just try that. I did it on my CRF. We got this blaster thumb throttle from Nice CNC, same company that we got the block off plate for the brake and the rotor sprocket guard from. They're a Chinese company, but this thumb throttle feels really nice, and I run a Yermosi, so I'm actually impressed with this. I'm gonna try it out. If it's no good, I'll put a Yermosi on here. If it works, I'm gonna put this on some of my other builds. So the cap used a 2.5 millimeter Allen, which was kind of annoying because my snap-on set only goes down to a 3. Anyways though, the anodizing is beautiful. It feels really sturdy, not loose at all. And it's got a nice O-ring seal. Overall, the quality is pretty darn good, I would say. I'm gonna get the cable in there. So the return spring quality is excellent. It's like pretty beefy. I had to tighten this up a little bit, you know, bend it in a little bit. It was a little loose for my liking. I think when the spring holds it, it'll stay in pretty good. But this piece is a little rough. It's about my only complaint with it. Other than that, it's like really nice feeling. So once again, this is a blaster housing from Nice CNC. Gotta love aftermarket parts. This needs to have a little float like it does. We had to trim the back side of it and clearance the carrier just a little bit, the carrier on the swing arm. Good thing we have all this black coating. It's already all cured and done. Something I did behind the scenes. But yeah, when you mix aftermarket swing arm, brake stay, and carrier, then sometimes you run into this. I've actually had to trim the back of a lot of these brake stays, the brake holders, especially if you powder coat them. I just had to take 1 millimeter off here and 1 millimeter off there, and then now it fits as it should. And then if you force it on, then it won't float and it'll be really hard to turn this. Also, this new piece right here is pretty stiff on there. The older one was worn out. It can move around. You want to make sure the C-clip is fully engaged all the way around. I've taken apart quite a few machines where it was part way on. You don't want to have a failure where your carrier comes out. Pretty happy with this niche axle. It has a really nice stock finish to it, but it's an extended axle, so a +4. We got all the spacers in here. I'm actually a dealer for these guys, so it's pretty cool. We're gonna put on the sprocket hub, get all that stuff situated, then we'll go from there. The difference between a YFZ and a YFZ-R axle is they make the spline section fatter right here. So this is a carb model axle, this size. These bigger axles were supposed to be stronger in theory, but I've seen them at the motocross track shear off right here. I'd rather bend an axle than shear one off, personally. So I had to dig out one of my stashes of YFZ parts from building all my builds over the years. And in doing so, I found this new brake hub that's a way better color for our build than this one. So I'm gonna swap them out. I just need to wipe it off. I got a little grease from one of those carriers on it. But yeah, we're gonna go with this guy now. One complaint I have is they didn't include the ring for the other side. Luckily, I looked in my stash and found this ring, which actually fits this hub better, because their rings are always really big. They go on that side and then it's hard to adjust. So we're gonna put this one on the sprocket side, but I'm actually glad that I still had one of these. I'll have to order some more. That OEM clip fits so much better than those really fat ones. The fat one probably is good for that adjuster, but that OEM clip is beautiful. All right, here's an up close and personal look at our sprocket spacer. 8 millimeters of spacing gets you really dialed in on most dirt bike builds. So yeah, now we're gonna put the sprocket on. One thing on the sprocket, I got a little chatter on these, but it's not gonna hurt anything. My cutter was getting old, but you need to cut these out so that it centralizes off the bolt instead of off those lips, because the lips are no longer there. If we added the lip to the spacer, it wouldn't really work out as far as bolting. So those are the tapered heads right there. All right, so you can see how these are centralizing and then they clear the carrier. So we got the spacer installed, and then you get perfect chain alignment. We'll put the chain back on here in a second. Sucks that chain sat, got a little rusty looking, but it's in great shape. I put a little bit of anti-seize on the axle so it'll slide back out later. Remember, a little bit goes a long ways. These aftermarket swing arms kind of a pain. We're gonna get the brakes installed, then we'll tighten everything up and adjust the chain. You want 3/4 of an inch of deflection. All right, make sure you put Loctite on these guys when you install them. I'm really happy I found this gray one instead of that gold one. It just would have clashed a little bit. The only thing it would have matched would be the fork tubes. Putting these clips on, the easiest way I found is get them tight right there and then just kind of tap them on with a dead blow. So now we're gonna adjust this, the axle lash, and then put the hubs on. We gotta mount those tires up. Their fat clips match this piece well, but when you use them on this side, it sticks out too far. I've used them a bunch of times. They're on all these other aftermarket axles. You can see one right there, but it definitely works better using the OEM one on that side. All right, so we got the clip on going the right way. This natural chain with no O-rings should pull really nice. Got the kids in here. I'm gonna show them how to put the carburetor back together. So we're gonna do that. After that, I'm gonna put the hubs on, then I'll adjust the axle and the chain, and we'll install the rear caliper. All right, Shane, go ahead and hit the throttle. Hold it open. So I want to go a little bit more, just a little bit. So what we're gonna do, let it off. I got some markings. We're gonna just sand it down a little bit. This PWK on the 500 is always tricky. I've had to shave a couple other ones for 2 strokes. So I thought the blaster housing was gonna give it just enough, but we're just gonna shave a few millimeters in there and it should get that last little bit up. Probably won't need it with this beast, but we're gonna set it up. Even more impressed with this throttle because it has brass bushings, which is really nice. I'm kind of glad we took this apart because this wasn't the tightest. I'm gonna put a little bit of thread locker on there. Maybe we'll take the bottom off, put a little thread locker. We're gonna make some minute adjustments to this piece. This is the piece I said wasn't, you know, made the greatest, which I'll still stand by that, but we're gonna clean it up a little bit. Okay, so we shaved right there, and right there. So, and a little bit in the housing. So now we got max throttle, and we'll set that stopper. But now it goes a lot further up. I think we can live with that. That's gonna be lots of power. All right. Well, the rear end came out really nice. Oh yeah, time to mount up some tires and wheels. These ITP 20s are massive. Holy smokes. It's gonna look good on this guy though, that's for sure. All right, so before I show you, I just want to tell you, pretty happy with the way the throttle and the rear end turned out. So this will button this up until we put coatings on the subframe, and then we can get everything going. Also, graphics, or MX Graphics, sorry, I got jumbled up there. MX Graphics is making us full graphics kits for both of the Kawasaki trike builds. So it's gonna be super sick. We'll just keep building prototypes. None of that consumer nonsense. All right, let's check it out. All right, let's back it on up. So brand new hole shots. The hole shots are a true 20. Those other ones I measured are only like just under 19 inches. So that's why they're so much bigger. But it's gonna accent this thing really good. I have not adjusted the chain yet or tightened the axle, which I'll do once I get off here. But I love the purple grips. Wait till you see the purple seat cover I have coming. It's gonna be gorgeous. We got these we're gonna coat up. They're gonna be black also. But yeah, the A5s all the way around. Courtesy of MTR tires. If you need any tires, they also make sand tires. So all of my rims and tires pretty much, besides like my old Bandits over there, are from MTR tires. So keep that in mind. They're the go-to people. Super happy with this. Super happy with the YFZ Master. I'm gonna bleed it to make it a little firmer, but it's already stopping on a dime. When you put the Quad Master on there, man, it really stops because it's meant for 2 brakes. So it's kind of the last little look, then we're gonna get it all assembled. This thing is gonna be gorgeous. Well, it's St. Patty's Day. Got the green on. We're gonna continue on the green machine. So big things today. We're gonna put the subframe on, probably the seat cover, airbox, all that stuff. So let's get at it. Got a little side mission. I gotta pull some 250 Honda 3-wheeler parts out for Hutchcroft Precision Cycles. Hopefully I have what they need. I got 2 250 motors right here, so it should work out pretty good. All right, everybody. Yesterday got away from me a little bit. Got some sidetrack stuff going on, but this is the modified airbox. Modified the bottom, brought it up, added the drain back, modified the side, put a bunch of heat resistance stuff on it. It's gonna fit with the exhaust and the subframe. These pieces are kind of worn out, but they're still sealing, so good to go there. I'd say we're safe to utilize this KX500 airbox. So we'll put the subframe on, see what happens. Well, one cool thing about having a 500 is you use a lot of thread locker. We're gonna put a little dollop of blue on there now that we're putting it on for good. All right, so we got the factory airbox modified and fit. Looks like it's gonna clear the exhaust nicely. We'll put that and the seat latch on next. So yeah, we got it all mounted up. It's looking good. Pretty trick. All right, we got the exhaust back on, airbox, subframe, grab bar. This thing's looking pretty good. All right, I'm really excited. The 500 is all finished up. All I need to do now is get their graphics kit. Oh yeah, who's ready for a test ride video? Well, do you hear that? Sounds like pure violence. That'll be all for this one, but stay tuned because we're gonna rebuild the top end on the 2018. Then we're gonna take them out and we're gonna test ride. Tri-Moto Man out.